My biggest takeaway from yesterday is the Eagles can beat you in a million different ways.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
A million different ways. I mean, you think about it, right? The first game, it's Hurts' legs, basically, and real other things that happen, but Hurts' legs. The second week, it's really the defensive back saying, we're shutting down your best players, and, we're going to own you. Not that Hurts didn't play well. He did, for sure. The third week, Hurts plays well again, and you sack the quarterback 9 times. And then yesterday, we're just going to run it down your throat. Yep. You're the best defense in the league against the run, giving up 55 yards per game. Well, guess what? We're going to basically quadruple that on you and take you out. Or and zero. Quattro, Stero, Eagles, undefeated. There is nobody that can stake that claim in the NFL. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy October, one and all. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. How sweet it is. Doesn't matter if it's raining out. Doesn't matter if it's in the 40s out. In this area, the Eagles are undefeated.
Exactly.
Take it to yet another team. What's up, guys?
I don't like to toot my own horn, but I am also 4-0.
Where did that come from?
In what?
Well, if you go back to last Friday, I gave you 4 games I thought there would be upset specials, and all 4 of them turned out to be accurate.
Look at Derek making it about himself rather than the Eagles right away.
I don't remember that.
Did the Eagles play yesterday?
Yeah, they did. They may have actually had a game. Yes,
they did.
Yes, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay. We will. We will let you tear rotator cuffs. Whatever you want. That's a good work out of you. I'm happy for you.
If I tear my rotator cuff, man, I'm still rolling. Can't stop me.
Hey, by the way, I don't know about you guys, but I love football season, but I don't need it to be in the 40s on October 3rd. I'm good. I'm kind of good.
Wait. Let's stop right there for a moment.
Yes.
You who chastised me because I hate fall.
I don't like the cold either, Derek.
Oh, yeah, but you're one of these people. Oh, I love the red and the orange and the yellow leaves turning colors. I love fall. And all of a sudden, I don't want October football to be in the 40s. See, you're becoming more like. See, I told you hang around with me long enough, you're gonna start being just like me. I told you this a long time ago.
It becomes deadly for you, Rob. It really does become deadly for you. So you haven't been with him on a day-to-day basis. That's right. In a long time. I've been putting up this for the last 7 years. So
yeah, Wait, Barrett. It's give and take. Now wait a minute. Now I admit I have rubbed off on Barrett in many cases the wrong way. But
I've been advised. Don't do what Derek does. Please don't.
No.
Okay.
Who told you? Wait.
Don't even do what he says.
First of all, who told you that?
Yeah.
Your wife, number 1.
Okay.
Our former boss, number 2.
Well, okay. Yeah.
I don't want to go on.
Okay. You say a former boss, but I even broke her down. I wore her down to the point. Well, what did she tell you one day? D-Gun, you got to do what D-Gun got to do.
Got to do what D-Gun's got to do. I couldn't believe it came out. I almost fell out of my chair.
Eventually,
what?
Eventually, you all come over to the D-Gun side.
All right. Well, look, it was a wild day yesterday.
What a day.
Pouring, windy, cold, and the Eagles get down 14-0.
Football weather.
Yeah,
the only play I said on a pregame show yesterday for JAKIB Media, I said the only players who like playing in this kind of weather are offensive linemen.
Yes.
Offensive linemen love playing in this kind of weather because they know where they're going, and the defense doesn't.
Amen. And I'll tell you, there's a million things we're going to dive into from this game, a million. And what's up, everybody in the chat room? I see you guys and everybody streaming, everybody listening. We are going to go soup to nuts, wall to wall, Eagles and NFL today. We'll sprinkle in a little Phillies as well as their magic numbers won. But my biggest takeaway from yesterday is the Eagles can beat you in a million different ways.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
A million different ways. I mean, you think about it, right? The first game, it's Hurts' legs, basically, and real other things that happen, but Hurts' legs. The second week, it's really the defensive back saying, we're shutting down your best players, and, we're going to own you. Not that Hurts didn't play well. He did, for sure. The third week, Hurts plays well again, and you sack the quarterback 9 times. And then yesterday, we're just going to run it down your throat. Yep. You're the best defense in the league against the run, giving up 55 yards per game. Well, guess what? We're going to basically quadruple that on you and take you out there isn't anything that you can take away from them that they don't have a counter to. They're like a good boxer. You're going to take something away, they're going to go with a counter punch. And that's who the Eagles are.
Bro, I saw it all, man.
Yeah. The only thing was, in the early portion of the game when they tried running, they were running to the outside. And I'm watching the game at Ocean Casino and I'm screaming with Seth Joyner and Mike Mississippi. You cannot run lateral against this defense. They are that fast. All of a sudden, they flipped the script and kept running them trap plays up the middle, and they could do nothing about it. Nothing. Well,
they had no answer.
Nope.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. It's everybody talks about, the quarterback position and their ability to go out there and throw passes, and that's major. That's the major decision making in what it is to be a quarterback. But it's more than that. It's understanding what a defense is trying to do to you and having an answer for it. And that's exactly what Jalen Hurts had. He had an answer for everything that they had. So we had talked, last week about, all right, we're going to go back to this read option. And everybody's like, no, we shouldn't go back to the read option. For what? We can pass the ball. We can do this. Like, this game will be a game where you have to use the read option simply because this defense is so fast and they move around.
Yes.
They get to spots. So I kept saying, well, this is what we're going to have to. We're going to have to run zone plays that go to a spot and not necessarily to a man. Remember me saying this, right?
Yep. Yeah, I do.
So I turned around. I said, okay, then. So what do? They tell Jalen Hurts, you're going to run the read option, and this is what you're going to look at. If you got a light box, the light box meaning 6 to 7 defenders inside the box, which is between both tackles. If you have 6 to 7 defenders, hand the ball off and give it to Jalen. If that 8th defender comes in the box, because we're nowhere going to put the 8th defender in the box because their ability to not throw the ball because the weather and everything, inclement weather, then you keep it. Then you have to do something with it. So we put that at the beginning of the game, they brought the 8th man into the box. They had 2 tight ends in for the most part when they did that. When you do that, he's going to keep it. So that's when you got the plays in which he kept the ball. But all of a sudden, they got the passing game open a little bit. Well, you had to take that 8th defender out the box and have him cover one of those receivers on the outside. Once you did that, it was easy. Now they're running this zone play. It was an inside zone play. But what they did different than most teams is they pulled Kelsey front side on it, which allowed them then to block down with Sayamalu on one side, block down on the 3 technique, and pull Sayamalu around. That way, Kelsey could get to the linebacker. If they tried to scoop it to the linebacker, he wouldn't be able to get it, and it would mush everything up. But what they did was they blocked Sayamalu down and pulled him around to get up on that linebacker. They kind of ran it like sprint draw. In fact, that's exactly how you block sprint draw. But it is using his own concepts, which opened up the ball. Then he was able to get to the second level. Once he got to the second level, all you do as a running back in Miles Sanders is just follow the yellow brick road, follow your center around, and it was just too easy, man.
Jalen's brilliant with the RPOs, knowing when
no question
when to give.
Oh yeah, but Bear, what you were talking about the traps. So many times in this game, I see Kelsey pulling this way. I see Opeta when he came in pulling this way. Before Sayamalu got hurt, I see him coming. I even saw Malata on a couple plays coming this way to trap. I'm like, they got linemen going up, and they had no counter for this. No matter what they did, they had no counter. Yep. They ran straight at their D tackles and had there's nothing they could do except wave the white flag.
Well, they were running at all right, let me explain. It wasn't really a trap. They were called either they were running powers when you pull the backside guard front side, and or you're gonna run these zone plays where you pull Kelsey, and Kelsey's the guy who's getting up on the linebacker. It looks just like a trap play, but it's actually they're trying to displace the line. And once you displace the line, when you have these guys slanting around and everything, that's when the holes become gigantic, because once you block down on them, you stop that guy from getting to his gap. He's supposed to fight over and get to the gap on the outside. He's got to get to that B gap, but he couldn't get to the B gap because Sayamalu blocked down. And when you pull Kelsey around, he's right up on that linebacker. Next thing you know, linebacker's getting thrown on his head because Kelsey's on him. And then you got Miles Sanders running up the middle. They ran a lot of tackle trap also, because we have such, athletic tackles. The tackles pulling from front side to back side, kicking out and running. They were great at calling plays, and which took advantage of the aggressive nature of the guys getting up the field.
Yeah.
Great play. They call them. And they were able to stop the penetration also. So, that run game was impeccable. Run game
was. I mean, look, we say it all the time. Kelsey is ridiculous. Ridiculous. I mean, I saw multiple plays where he blew up 2 guys on one play. To still be able to do that at his age and still be as athletic as he is.
Yes.
But you know what?
It's unbelievable. Tell me that guy's not a Hall of Famer.
There's no question.
I would love to hear an argument to why he's not.
No, he's no question. And they still rank him the number one. He's the number 1 center in the league right now.
He's not a Hall of Famer.
Why?
Just because I wanted to see the look on your face.
Because you're Woody Woodpecker. No, but I mean, and Dickerson, I give huge props too. I thought Dickerson was awesome.
He was a monster yesterday. He was mauling people, bro. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to sit back and watch. I'm waiting for the game to get up, man.
The all 22 to get out.
They're pissing me off, man, because they just have the regular broadcast. I hate when they do that to me.
I go back and watch the regular, like the day after, and
the only flaw I saw in the offensive line play was once Driscoll was in there, he had his hands full with that Josh Allen. It was like one or two drives. Yeah, he was giving it to him. Yeah, but then he settled in, and then they started calling plays that took advantage of his speed, his size, and speed. Yeah, they did. Absolutely.
No, it was. That's the thing, And the other great part of this is they didn't blink. It was 14-0. It was an emotional, game with Doug coming back. Conditions not great. It's the kind of situation where sometimes teams would fold, and Eagles teams in the past would fold. They didn't. They were like, all right, we're fine. Dust yourself off. And that first drive, guys, Barrett, I think the first drive where Hurts on 4th down and Nick goes for it, and Hurts shows you the strength, like he gets stuffed there. I don't know what happens in that game, but he scores with his strength. It's amazing.
He comes out.
A must play. That was a must score play.
But he come out on his first drive in their own territory and go for it on 4th down.
Yeah.
It sends you a message right away. We're thinking, wait a minute. You're going to run the risk of giving them a short field out of the gate?
Derek, you're right. That was, that's gutsy.
What? But that's trust. That's not just trust. That is demoralizing in itself when both teams are jacked up. You have the team that predicates its pride on defense on stopping the run. They can't stop the first fourth down situation. Bro. They can't stop them.
And they didn't stop themselves. This defense, man, come on, man. Like, I sit back and watch how we would be all over the linebackers for what the linebackers weren't doing. Mm-hmm. And there was no sense that those guys didn't know. Kazir White, you didn't hear his name a lot, but he was there making plays. There were so many times where they were dropping balls around because he was making plays. Yeah. TJ Edwards played like a madman. He balled yesterday. Yeah. Watch the film on him, how he was feeling, how he was, he was blocked and still making tackles. Mm-hmm. He played amazing yesterday. Please watch the film on TJ Edwards, man. Mm-hmm. He played lights out yesterday. I mean,
as usual, by the way.
Yes. Unbelievable, man.
I'm with you. And look, not only they do what they usually do, where they go on their tear in the second quarter, which is incredible what they've been doing in the second quarters this year.
They scored 90 points, 80 points in the second quarter.
I still don't understand that the light switch goes on in the second quarter.
85.
Now they got 9 points in the second half, but still, it's like, why aren't they as strong in the second half as they are in that second quarter? I don't get that. I still can't figure that out.
Yeah, the offense for sure.
Yeah, the offense. Not the defense, the offense.
You're right, Derek. I don't know. I mean, I thought there was improvements in the second half offensively, but they're still not all the way where they need to be. But they go off again at halftime. Jacksonville's kind of like, what hit us? What's happening here?
Right. They were like, what's happening?
You talk about a game. You talk about a game of ebbs and flows. I mean, Jacksonville has a 3rd down situation. Trevor Lawrence rolls to his right. You could drive a Mack truck through it. He could have run for the first down, or when they showed the replay, there's a guy standing wide open underneath.
Jones is wide
Nobody within 10 yards of him. The ball hits his hip, fumbles. Okay? They're driving momentum in the second half. All of a sudden, Gannon, who called 3 or 4 blitzes the whole game, sends the blitz at the perfect time, hurries Lawrence's throw. Bradbury comes up, kills that momentum as well.
Huge play.
That was huge momentum.
It's a 24-20 game at that point.
Yes,
right.
Yes.
I forget what it was, or 20. It was a tight game at that point.
It would have been. It was two plays in which really dictated to me the floor of the game.
Yeah.
The one to Christian Kirk when he just what he just dropped me. It wasn't Christian Kirk. Who was that? It was the
Agnew.
Yeah, and wide open.
Yeah.
Wide open. Oh, it was a little
like a hitch pass.
A sluggo route. It was a sluggo route. You know, he ran a sluggo route. He was wide open. He had beat what was his name? The new guy that got in there. He had beat the corner. Oh my goodness, what is his name? Oh my goodness.
You talking new guy for the Eagles?
Yes. Well, he's not a new guy. You know, he came in in place of in place of what's his name? Josiah Scott. That's his name. Josiah Scott. He beat Josiah Scott on a double move. He beat him on a double move, wide open, and Lawrence overthrows him. I said that was the turning point right there, because it should have been 21-0 then, but he misses him. I said that's exactly what they needed. Got him off the field, and that's when the offense took over. Offense took over.
Yeah,
that was a turning point. But then on that play you're talking about in the fourth quarter, where it was almost like a little wheel route on it, and Bradbury had on that play. He's supposed to stay man on that, because once you get a vertical in that defense, there's nobody replaced. Once they get that vertical, he's supposed to stay on that vertical in that zone concept. But he falls off his guy and goes and makes the play for the interception. Unbelievable play by Bradbury. Talking about trust and your safety, also knowing the safety had to be there also to take his guy.
Yep.
Great play.
Right.
Great
other thing, we get back to this all the time, but how about depth? You know, you were down 2 left tackles when Mailata goes out. You're already out without Dillard. You're down Maddox to start the game. You lose Slay right away. And granted, Josiah Scott wasn't great. I understand that. But, you know, you're down a lot. You lose Patrick Johnson during the game. I mean, you had all kinds later, and you lose Sayamalu. You had all kinds of injuries in the game, not to mention Jake Elliott, which hopefully that's not bad. And you still survive it. You still survive it because you have more depth than probably any team in the NFL collectively.
Right. Well, you just everything that fell into place for this, and it's not like it didn't. You know what? Let me stop that. It didn't fall into place. It happened the way it was supposed to happen. You have backups like that it can come in and play, and that's why they're there. You know what I'm saying? They're not there just to be window dressing or to just practice against your defense or offense. They're there to go out there and play. They kept Josiah Scott over a lot of other people, and he was able to come in and play in the slot and play pretty good.
Yeah, he did. You know what? You don't see a lot of what he did showing up in the stats, but there was no glaring weakness in his game.
Exactly.
To be honest with you.
Exactly.
You know, he played a pretty good game for them.
Zach McPherson comes in. You mean they got beat? They got beat at times. But hell, they're not starters. They're backups. And when they pushed into a starting role, I think they played very well, considering the fact that this is a pretty good wide receivers core. A wide receivers core that ate up a lot of people. You know, Marvin Jones had a resurgence in his career because he played outstanding with the exception of this game. You didn't even hear his name. Christian Kirk was killing people. And then they turn around, where the hell did Agnew come from? I'm like, who is this dude? What position does he play?
Yeah.
I mean, how good is he? He's 39. I'm thinking he's not a running back. What
bad number? Yeah, you figure that's usually a special teamer kind of number.
Man. You know, he comes in the ball, and that's what he is. He's a returner.
Yeah,
he's a return guy.
Yeah,
that came in and balled out for him. You know, it's those guys that step up in place of guys, and that's what happened to us in 2017.
Yeah,
guys stepped up.
Well, the other part of it is the Eagles were better prepared for the elements.
Yeah, they were. Yes, they were. Yes,
they just were. I mean, they practiced all week using, you know, whether it was having Jalen throw it or the receivers catch it, or, you know, those drills where the running backs are running through and they're getting hit with pads and all that with wet footballs all week. And, you know, clearly other than the pick, which was just a bad play by Jalen, it happens.
Yeah, he looked.
It wasn't an element thing. It was a poor decision. But other than that, they took care of the football and the other team didn't. In particular, the other team's quarterback did.
I jokingly said on a pregame show yesterday, I said, hey, here's one of the big elements to watch for. You know, cats, Jaguars are cats don't like water. Think about it.
I remember you said that in your show. Yeah.
Phenomenal analysis.
And then somebody says, well, you know, Jaguars technically they like to swim. I said, you just missed the whole point of what I was saying. You know, I'm like, I can't.
Did somebody really try and dig in a little bit harder on that?
Yes, and I wasn't about to acknowledge them. You know, somebody in the chat. Well, you know, Jaguars.
They have to go in water. And they
catch alligators and all that
caimans,
stuff.
Yeah, they go in. They eat caimans. Yes. You know, they go get it out of the water. They love water. Actually,
wow, great breakdown.
For the most part, cats don't like water, and those cats,
they don't.
They couldn't hold on to the ball. They dropping passes on swing passes, screens, hitch route. The ball's just skidding off skidding off.
You didn't see that with the Eagles. You did.
Yes. They were better prepared. You say you ask people, you know, they had a poll question. You know, NBC had a poll question. What coach would you rather have? Nick Sirianni, or would you rather have Doug? Well, at this point, Nick Sirianni had his guys. And this was the pregame show, and I actually told him, look, I wanted Nick Sirianni because he has his guys prepared. They'll play for him. Same thing with Doug, but I think Doug just wore, he ran his course here.
Yeah,
it was time for him to move on.
Yep.
And Nick Sirianni, I mean, right now I don't find any flaws in what he's doing. He got his guys prepared, and that's all you can ask. Get your guys prepared.
That's an interesting discussion for debate.
Right.
I don't know if it was time for Doug to move on. They forced his hand.
Oh, they did. Yep.
And when you think about the success he had in a short amount of time, and he delivered something, and I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm not defending.
What way did they force his hand, or did he force their hand?
No, basically he wanted more say-so roster.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So basically
coaches,
they wanted to have the same control that they've had. And Doug said, wait a minute. What else do I have to do for you people? In 5 years, I've given you 2 division titles, 3 playoff appearances, and a Super Bowl. What else do I have to give you? What else?
Right.
How many coaches are jettisoned, after 2 and 3 years in this league nowadays? And there's a few coaches that could be out before the season is over. Okay, what else do I have to give you? See what I'm saying? So basically, the organization, we had heard the stories that, and I don't know if it's true or not. I never was able to confirm this, but the story came out. It ran like wildfire. Howie was the one that picked the 46-man game day rosters.
You never confirmed that?
No.
I need you to get on that, okay?
But when I would ask the question, certain people I would ask would just go like this. So that told me what I needed to know, but that was also telling me, Degon, don't run with that, please. Just leave it alone. I said, okay. I didn't touch the story. All right. Yeah. They hired a defensive coordinator before they hired the head coach. All of this stuff was building up.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't think Doug had run his course. Doug basically said, I changed the culture here. You got rid of Darth Vader. I came in, and it was like Camelot when I came in. I was a breath of fresh air. I can't tell you how many people, from front office people to janitorial people to cooks, so on and so forth. Bro, man, we love having Doug here.
Even the lunch lady didn't like.
By the way, Darth Vader's undefeated.
He is.
UCLA this
what a big
bowling,
they look dangerous. That's another discussion for another time.
Yes, but
Chipper's got UCLA playing a little bit.
Yeah, I watched that game. I was like,
I
hate to say this, I was rooting against UCLA, but
I know
for a number of reasons.
But but Derek, I would say the one thing, just to pick up on the Peterson thing, I think one of the things that hurt Doug, he was loyal to a fault to certain assistant coaches that I didn't think were great either. Like I agree with the front office in the sense, like I think Doug should have had the right to choose assistant coaches, but like he really went to the mat for like the Mike Groves and some of these other guys who I don't know. Like
he also let go of a few coaches as well.
Yeah,
he told a few coaches, "Thank you, your services are no longer needed."
Yeah,
every head coach is loyal to people he bring in. I get that to a certain degree. That I'm saying it could have been a meeting of the minds to the point where one side wanted to have a little bit more of this, the other side says, "No, we kind of like what we do here."
Right.
And if I'm the guy who's out there and I'm taking all the heat, whether we win, lose, or draw, then I've given you something that you didn't have in a previous regime, then work with me here.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? Work with me here. It doesn't come down to money because he was well paid. It wasn't about the money. It was about the respect factor.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that's fair. I mean, for what he accomplished, I think it's fair. Look, sometimes breakups are, even though they're, I don't know if it was totally
ex-girlfriends, bro.
Well, yeah, I don't know if it was totally amicable, but sometimes it's better for both parties.
Yeah.
And I think he's in a great spot there, and I think the Eagles are in a great spot with their guy.
Absolutely. And you know what? There's still a relationship between the two. That's the best thing about it.
Yeah.
They agreed to disagree. They went their separate ways. He took a year off, took care of family issues. His brother was, dying from cancer. He got to spend more time with the family. He was still getting paid. Yeah. I like to be fired from a job, still get paid a year or two later. That 7-figure income.
You just got that, man. You just got that, bro. What are you talking about?
I said 7 figures, not 7 cents. There's a big difference. Okay. Don't get me going, B. Brooks. It's only Monday. Don't get me fired up.
I was glad that we dispelled the myth that there were going to be boos for Doug and all that, all the BS that was being thrown out there, which is exactly what it was, BS. That was all love.
He got a standing O.
Yes.
As
rightfully
he should.
so. As he should.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
And it was cool on the field afterwards. You saw the Kelsey exchange. Did you guys see that one?
Oh, yeah, with the jacket. Yeah. The wet jacket. And then you saw the shot also where he's hugging Hurts. And he didn't just, it wasn't just one of those handshakes and go your separate ways. No, that was genuine. They embraced, they talked, and I love what Hurts said about Doug in his post-game press conference. He goes, I love that guy. I have a lot of respect for that guy, the way he goes about his business, and he's got a good team over there. The funny thing about Doug is it's almost, now he's not, obviously Jacksonville's not going to win a Super Bowl in his second year.
Right.
But it's like the same scenario. He went in there as the eraser to clean up a mess the previous regime left behind.
Oh, he had one hell of a mess too, bro.
Oh, this was more of a mess than Chip.
Oh, right. No question about it. Oh my goodness!
Like if Chip was Darth Vader, what does that make Urban Meyer?
But the difference was they kept the nucleus of the same players there.
Yeah.
When Chip
because they were all top 10 players.
But they all young players. All they had to do was get somebody who would treat them like adults, like men. Not a guy who's sneaking up, kicking a kicker and stuff like that,
Yeah.
And to the point where your coaching staff didn't want to be around you. That is the worst of the worst. I don't think he'll ever get another head coaching job in the National Football League.
Well, then I look up on Saturdays and he's having my job being one of the top analysts on college football.
And you know what? When the dust settles and all the darts, all the people looking at him side-eyed, you know what's going to happen? He'll resurface somewhere at a prominent. He'll have his pick of the litter in a year or two at some college program.
He will be coaching college football next year.
Yes, it'll be Chip Kelly scenario all over again.
Nebraska. They were talking about
Nebraska, Wisconsin's open now. Who knows?
Yeah, well, thank God, Wisconsin job is open.
I was more of a Chris fan. I don't know. I didn't.
No. I love him as a person. He, from what I've understood and heard about him, he is a great human being. He sucks as a play caller. Okay. That power football game went out the door years ago. You have to be more diversified.
Oh, that's right. That's your team. That's your team.
Well, my home state.
Well, Leonard, Jim Leonard. I mean, his name Jim.
Jim Leonard is an unbelievable defensive coordinator.
No question about that. Played in the league a long time. We played against each other for years. You know what I'm saying? I knew him personally.
Yeah. You
Jim
did? Okay.
Yeah. I remember I called. I actually called 2 Wisconsin games 3 years ago. I called one, and then 4 years ago I called one. And just talking to him, and plus the offensive coordinator was on the same offensive line as me back in the day. What was his name? Oh my goodness, he's from Wisconsin. He played offensive line for Wisconsin. Him and Joe Panos played together. He played center. What was? I got to look it up, man.
Well, for the last 3 years before this year, Jim Leonard's defense was one of the top 3 defenses in the entire country in college football.
Well, look who's spearheading our defense. Edwards was one of his guys.
Absolutely,
yeah,
that's right, TJ.
That's one of his guys.
And they got a lot of
what TJ is doing now. He was wrecking people at Wisconsin. Everybody talked about the
TJ was a great name there.
Yes.
TJ Watt was there also.
Oh, yeah.
Well, just look at the defensive players they've turned out.
Right.
Beasts.
But, the only thing, the knock on TJ Edwards was he's not that fast laterally. But all you saw him do was making plays.
This guy's a football player.
He blitzed a lot more at Wisconsin than he does now, but TJ Edwards is a stud.
Yeah, and he's smart.
They saying he was right now, for me, he was the guy that brought that defense. He balled all out, man. I mean, he should have got a game ball. That's how good he played.
He's awesome. Yeah. TJ Edwards is a football player. All right, so we come back. We're going to dig into the offensive side of the ball.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, we're going
offense.
offense.
I have a question for both of you.
Okay, we're going offense. We're going defense. We're going to look back at week 4 of the NFL, which was insane. I'll give you some numbers to back it up. But we went from a double doink at 9:30 in the morning East Coast time to games ending at 11:30 last night East Coast. It was awesome. So we'll do that. Philly's magic number is 1.
I got him.
Yes.
Joe Rudolph.
Joe Rudolph,
the offensive coordinator.
And Rob, since you love stats and numbers,
I do.
I've got a stat for you for the first 4 weeks of the NFL season. It pertains to parity. And I looked this up. I said, this is unbelievable. I can't remember a year like this.
Okay.
I'll tell you what it is in a few minutes.
Love it. All right. Don't go anywhere. You will get that stat and a lot more. Eagles now 4-0 after the win over the Jags.
Woo, woo.
Woo, woo. He's Derek Gunn. He's Barrett Brooks. I'm Rob Ellis. You know where we are. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Pound that like button. All right, let's talk about Jim Murray and Principal Financial Group. All right, because look, figuring out the best way to invest your hard-earned money is tough sometimes. I went through it for a while, and I found the right person in Jim Murray. Whether it's retirement planning, 401k review, insurance review, you have a small business, you're trying to set up employee benefits, and any of the above or even more, if you're not really sure, reach out for a consult with Jim. I've entrusted my IRA, my 401k rollovers to him, and I couldn't be any happier. He's also someone you can lean on for good advice. And if you're just not sure about any kind of patterns that's happening with the stock market, your investments, whatever the case may be, give him a call, 610-996-4751, 610-996-4751, or you can email him, Murray, MURRAY.Jim@principal.com. That's Murray.Jim@principal.com.